Hello, and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. And happy 4th of July to all of my American friends out there. So today we're going to be doing a watercolor fan art piece, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. For today's piece, I am doing another colorful watercolor portrait, and this time I am being influenced by doing fan art for the Amazon Prime series Good Omens, based on the novel of the same title by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I absolutely love both of those authors, and that's definitely my favorite Terry Pratchett book, even though it's not exclusively a Terry Pratchett book. I love all of his Discworld novels as well. I've read a lot of them. But yeah, Good Omens. Great book. It's funny when you're reading it, you could tell which sections were Terry versus Neil because they do have distinct voices, but there's also just a lot of that excellent, understated British humor in there. Kind of reminds me of Douglas Adams sometimes. Well, I was watching the series on Prime Video finally as I was painting this piece. I loved it. I've heard rumor that Terry and Neil actually had plans for a possible sequel to the novel. It never got written. Obviously, unfortunately, Terry Pratchett did pass away several years ago now, so that's probably never going to happen in book form. But Neil Gaiman has apparently said that he's open to discussing what the plans had been with the makers of the series, if there's enough interest and demand for a sequel, a second season. And I, for one, am really hoping that that will happen. But on that topic, I have heard that there was a Christian group in the States that were outraged by the blasphemy of this show. They can't take a joke. I guess these are the same people who organized book burnings of Harry Potter, because, whoa, children can't read about magic. But the funny thing is, with this petition, they were petitioning Netflix not to make any more Good Omens episodes. And that's just absolutely ridiculous, because of course this is an Amazon Prime original series, not a Netflix series. And I've looked it up now, and apparently Netflix did sarcastically respond and promise never to make any more episodes, in air quotes, of Good Omens. Satisfying the petition, okay, mission accomplished. Netflix will not make any more episodes of Good Omens, don't worry. But unfortunately for that group, Netflix, yeah, they're not the guys making it. Amazon Prime was. But yeah, so when I read the book, and when I've watched it now, my favorite character is still the same. David Tennant really did a great job bringing this character to life. Supernatural has conditioned me to pronounce the name Crowley, because, of course, that's their head demon's name. But on the Good Omens show, they're using the British pronunciation, which is the correct one, obviously, because Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. And, yeah, they call him Crowley, which I kind of like better. I just have to get used to it. So I'm calling this piece Technicolor Crowley. It's based on one of their promotional images of the character standing in front of the escalators, standing in front of the escalators that go up to heaven and down to hell. And I had a lot of fun doing this. I like his glasses. They kind of remind me of the safety shields that you might get to put on your prescription glasses instead of using safety goggles in lab work or construction work. And he kind of gives me a 1980s David Bowie vibe. I'm not sure if anybody else is getting that, but I'm kind of getting that. So I went full out with the color in this piece and made him more colorful because, yeah, I was playing off of that David Bowie thing. The soundtrack of the show has a lot of Queen in it, and that's because there's a lot of Queen in the book. They actually had permission to print the lyrics, well, part of the lyrics, of Bohemian Rhapsody. They had to because it's in a conversation Crowley has with somebody. So I'm going to read 2 excerpts just so you get the point. So I have my paperback copy of Good Omens. It is a post-2006 printing. On page 26, Crowley was currently doing 110 miles per hour somewhere east of Slough. Nothing about him looked particularly demonic, at least by classical standards. No horns, no wings. Admittedly, he was listening to a Best of Queens tape, but no conclusions should be drawn from this, because all tapes left in a car for more than about a fortnight metamorphose into Best of Queen albums. No particularly demonic thoughts were going through his head. In fact, he was currently wondering vaguely who Moe and Shandon were. And then a couple pages later, page 31 is where this part starts. So when Crowley's people that he communicates are communicating with him and he's in a car, they like to interrupt through his radio and just kind of take on the voice of whatever is on his radio, and being that all tapes in his car metamorphose into Best of Queen albums, the voice talking to him is Freddie Mercury. So we have this part on page 31, and suddenly Freddie Mercury was speaking to him, "Because you've earned it, Crowley." And then it goes on, like, back and forth between Crowley and this voice. And Crowley says, "I'll be there in 5 minutes, Lord, no problem." "Good." "I see a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?" So, of course, the first time I really noticed that there was Queen in the soundtrack was that song, Bohemian Rhapsody, but they do use other Queen songs in there, including Bicycle, which is hilarious, very well timed. I just wanted to get that out and read an excerpt from the book, because I love this book, I love these authors, I am so glad it became a series. I heard it was a project in the works years ago. I've been so excited for it. Finally watched it, yay! And here is my fan art. Technicolor Crowley in watercolors. Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors, by the way, on B Paper Company 100% red cotton watercolor paper. You probably could have guessed that. That's the default watercolor paper I use. I haven't trimmed this one down, so it is 6x9, the pre-cut size. I'm not really very well centered on the page anyway, so if I were to frame it, it wouldn't matter that it's going to be cut off a bit. By the way, if you're new here, please do subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at minimum, and sometimes I have bonus videos. I had a bonus this week, did you see it? Back on Monday, I had a video about Canada Day and Newfoundland's Memorial Day, both which occur on July 1st. And then I was here again on Tuesday with a regular video. I had a Pokemon fan art video, and also a little nod to my late brother, Kevin. And then today. Happy 4th of July to my American friends, and I hope you have enjoyed this fan art piece from Good Omens. Let me know in the comments down below, have you watched it yet? Did you read the book? Are you a fan of either authors? Are you a fan of the actors in the show? Are you also hoping that there will be a sequel series? I would really love to see a sequel series. I'd love to see what these two had planned for a sequel. And I know that since at least Neil Gaiman would still be working on it, it would be true to them. So, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Anyway, that's enough for me today. I will see you on Tuesday. Bye, guys.